Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris, the High Guy Jacobs, and today we are continuing into our beginner series. And today we are doing a beginner's guide on alliance leadership. See, here's the thing. It takes a lot to run an alliance. It's not just about one person. It's about an entire team. It's not just about one leader. It's about a leadership team. It's not about one player. It's about an entire team. And a lot of people seem to forget about that. So if you're just new to the game, or if you're trying to figure out what kind of alliance you are, or what kind of alliance you want to play in, or if you're leading, what kind of alliance you want to lead, this video is going to dive into a lot of the things that I, as a 4-year veteran to this game, have experienced over the lifetime of the game. Well, I guess 3 years might be more credible. 3.5. I don't know. It's been a while. The point is simple. I've been doing this a long time, and I have led some of the I would argue to say my alliance currently, GROP, is one of the best alliances I've ever participated in, one of the most active, one of the most enjoyable, and we have some of the best, arguably, best ideals that I think you'd have in a game. And we'll talk all about those in today's guide, but before we do, I want to ask you guys to do a couple quick things for me. First off, I need you to like this video, because at the end of the day, this is what I want to do with my life, but in order to do that, I need your help. You need to be able to like the video, you need to subscribe to the channel, fill out the notification bell, share this with your friends, and comment on any video. And I will tell you right now, if you want to get your chance at a share of 20,000 in-game gold, all you have to do now is go to my channel and find my birthday video that is coming out, or that is already out there, and get your ID and guess for when you think my birthday is. Now, here's the thing. Nobody really knows. It is out there. You could find it. But anybody who does get the right date, guess the right date for when my birthday is, on that date, we will be holding out a contest, and whoever guesses the correct date will get their share of 20,000 in-game gold. I will say currently that I have one tip. That tip is that it is on a Wednesday, so you can expect any Wednesday from here forward to be a special Wednesday. Who knows about it, whether it's going to be a good one or not. But once it happens, like I said, all the people who guessed correctly will share 20,000 in-game gold. If you'd like to be that one of those people, get out there and, like I said, like the video, comment on the video, preferably the birthday one with your ID and guess. Subscribe to the channel, fill out the notification bell, and share this with your friends. Let's get this out in front of everybody. Now, without further ado, let's jump into a beginner's guide to leadership. Now, first and foremost, you're probably asking yourself, what does this all mean? What is an alliance? What does it mean to be the leader in an alliance? Well, an alliance is 180 or up to 180 players that all really have the common goal of working together to build technology, to build resources, and to survive the apocalypse together. In reality, these are just players that you're going to lean on during PvP events, during PvE events, during all the events that you have in the game, as a way to both grow your account selfishly as well as growing everybody else's account communally. Okay? What do I mean by this? Well, it's very simple. You have to manage 180 people. And if you're not good with managing people or dealing with things that happen while managing people, then chances are leadership isn't for you. But if you are, I'll tell you right now, leadership is one of the most fulfilling prospects I find in this game. It gives me a lot of purpose, a lot of direction, and in the long run, it gives me a lot of ability to help the community as best as possible. One of the things that I hear about the way that I run things that most people don't is that I spend a lot of my time, and yes, granted, I have a lot more because I'm trying to make this my life. I spend a lot of time helping people in my alliance understand it better so that they can perform better, so that we can all perform better. Some things that we do specifically, to kind of force that interaction are things like no PvP. So friendly PvP is typically where you'll reach out to somebody and you'll say, hey, I want to fight you, and we'll just take one march together and you'll fight one march until one march dies. I'll be honest with you, PvP is the most selfish way to play the game. If all you do is PvP and get your points doing PvP, you're doing a disservice to the game, doing a disservice to yourself, and at the end of the day, you're playing this only for yourself. I think that this game is a team game more than anything else, and it has to be played as such. Now, that all being said, let's dive into a little bit more about the basics of it, because that's all going into stuff that's going to go way over your head unless you know exactly what we're talking about. Yes, it means you're going to be managing 150 people or 180 people. Yes, it means that you have to know the ins and outs of the map, the villages, the cities, all the outposts, everything you can, the bridges. I mean, everything that you need to know about the game, you have to know before getting into leadership. So if I were you, I'd spend a lot of time just learning about the game first before you start trying to pick your own region and doing this yourself. But in the long run, again, it really doesn't matter. You might be one of those people that likes to learn and, learn as you go. Not saying one way is better than the other. I just know that one way is going to cause a lot more mistakes. Okay. So let's just talk a little bit about what it takes to look at your alliance and determine what you want to be. In my opinion, and you have to realize most of these guys are done from my opinion, there's really only two types of alliances. You have casual alliances, which are more based around a family environment, a friend environment, not really focused on the overall participation or overall activity or results of the events, but more just around the environment of growing together, playing together, and just having a good time that way. I would consider those more casual players, as the focus of the game or the alliance is not around the game itself, but around the casual experience itself. So you can either choose to be a casual alliance or you can be in a competitive alliance. Some people will say, well, I'd like to be a little bit of both. Arguably, if you create a good competitive alliance, you will have the casual alliance aspect as well. You will have the players that are active that want to help you succeed so that they can succeed, so that we can succeed together. Arguably, that's the way that we want to do it. Now, either or is entirely fine, but the biggest issue is that if you don't decide and decide early, there will be a huge divide between your players that want to be competitive versus the ones that want to be casual. There is only friction that comes from this. So I always suggest, if you're doing this fresh, decide whether you want to be a casual or competitive alliance and go from there. This doesn't mean you can't change as it goes. I truly believe that an alliance is a malleable living object. It will change as the desires of the alliance change, but you need to have direction. You need to have a plan. We'll come back to this in a little bit, but just keep in mind, you're going to want to have a plan for everything. So once you've kind of decided on whether you're going to be a casual or competitive alliance, you can start recruiting players. Now, I'm always going to suggest that you look to recruit both in your region and out of your region. I mean, with the capabilities now of being multi-regional and having players from all different regions, you can reach out to other regions to recruit. So for us personally, we recruit in all of the language chats, all of the world chats, all of the region chats. To all of our friends, any chats that you're available to, there's not really anything wrong. Like, yeah, people might get mad at you for spamming, but at the end of the day, if you're trying to recruit for your alliance, just getting the notice out there is going to be a good thing. And then you're going to start recruiting, and you're going to be recruiting players that are specific to what you want to do. As you determine the rules of your alliance, okay, like I said, as you're casual or competitive, you can then figure out what kind of players you need. That will also change as your alliance grows. But without getting too much into it, just look for the most active players, not just the ones that are like logging in once or twice a day, but the ones that are like logging in 2 or 3 or 4 times a day to keep their farms going, the ones that are obviously spending a little bit in the game, the ones who are obviously a little bit more, maybe focused on the game, things like that. If you're trying to build a competitive alliance, that's what you're looking for. If you're trying to build a casual alliance, you're really just looking for friends, for cool people, for people who have the same ideology or the same type of mentality as you, so that you're not experiencing that interpersonal friction that you normally get inside of these games. Okay, so depending on how you design your alliance, those are going to be your kind of focuses. But without going into any of that, you also need to understand the basics of the game. So let's go over some basics. First and foremost, let's look at the map layout. If you look over here in the top right, you're going to notice that this is the entire map, and it's broken down into what looks like 3 different zones. You have these outside 6 islands, these inside 3 islands, and then this inside 1 island. Okay, so if you look at it here, you've got 6 outside islands, you've got 3 inside islands, and you've got 1 internal island. And if we scroll out, we can see these definitions on the map, right? So we have one whole big island here separated by this river that cuts all the way through it. We've got another piece here that is separated by these mountain ranges that you can't get through until you get to the gates. So there's lots that we kind of have to figure out. And the biggest issue that you want as a leader have to do is you have to start planning where you want to put your towers. Because in a lot of situations, people just drop towers willy-nilly. They don't really care. They're just going to throw them everywhere. But the best leaders will have a plan, because you need to benefit from not only being able to fill up your space in zone 3, right? We've got zone 1 is the outside ring, zone 2 is the outside ring, or the inside ring, zone 3 is the middle island, okay? Pardon me. Not only do you have to keep, your towers to be able to do that, but you also have to build out areas so that you can get what are called alliance nodes. These things right here. These alliance nodes. Now, these alliance nodes are going to provide your alliance with resources. Okay. Now, we're at a situation where our technology and stuff is already complete, so we're not going to dive too much into that. I will obviously talk a little bit about the plan for that. But at the end of the day, a lot of it comes down to the resources that you're going to have in your alliance to be able to do things like build towers, to be able to do things like research technology, things like that. And all of this, these green numbers here, is based on how many nodes that you have, right? 37 nodes we have within our territory, which is providing us a certain amount of hourly resources. Now, there are other ways to get alliance resources. Farming those nodes inside your territory will provide you a 10% bonus. So, for example, if you look here, I farmed 1.32 million resources. I got 653,000 as the bonus resources, so almost 2 million resources here. And this gave the Alliance 13.2 thousand food. If I was to farm outside of the Alliance territory, I would not get this bonus, so the Alliance would not benefit from it, which is why it's so important for your players to farm these inside nodes, which is something that I'm always going to suggest. Okay, so once you understand the outside and the inside map layout, and you can start to think about where you want to place your towers, your villages, your forts, and everything like that, you can start to understand why these outposts are so important, right? Why these redwood villages, why the level 2 villages, right? The forest towns, why the level 3s in here, the level 3 cities, why the level 4 mega cities, and why the level 5 metropolis is so important for your alliance. So in doing that and in understanding the map, you can start to mentally picture where you want your territory to be, what part are you going to control, and this and that. Now, unfortunately, not every region is the same. So here's the thing. This is why I said you're going to want to start probably, for the most part, don't worry about being a leader. Just worry about playing, learning the game, getting developed, things like that. You'll come back into leadership when you're a little bit more fluid in the game, a little bit more flushed out in the game and things like that. Because typically what happens in new regions, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but even in brand new regions, what's going to happen is they're only locked for, I think, 6 months. And then after 6 months, they're opened up to the entire game. And you'll have players who go and send specifically small accounts or brand new accounts in brand new regions with the plans of moving their big accounts in there. So they're basically setting up control so that their big accounts can kind of come in and take over a brand new region and have their own, for their own buffs, for their own reasons, for their own preparation. Maybe they didn't get a good enough region when they started. Could be a numerous amounts of things. So the biggest problem is, as a leader, you are going to have to try to find your good region. I was lucky enough to be invited into 420, Region 420, which is subsequently just a great meme for my brand. And they invited me in as a member. I played with them for a while, and eventually, things just happened that we ended up getting the region. But that's not normal. In a lot of situations, you have to plan if you're looking for your own region or things like that. You have to either find them, you have to kind of be negotiating. There's a lot of diplomacy at stake. There's a lot of diplomacy at play. Now, when I say look for a good region, you're obviously looking for a region that you're going to be in the top, like your alliance is going to be within at least the top 3, top 4, ideally, so that you can have your full access to level 2 villages, level 1 villages, level 3 villages, and even a share of the level 4 in Metropolis. Level 5, okay? Because if you're looking to be a competitive alliance, those buffs really come in handy. If you didn't know, each one of these buffs or these cities or towns provides a buff. For example, this level 2 here provides a 5% heal speed. This level 3 provides 5% squad defense and a 10% research speed. So having these buffs for the alliance is absolutely beneficial depending on what you want your alliance to be. And if you want to be a competitive alliance, you need to be at least within the top 3 strongest alliances in a region to give you access to all of the resources that you need, to the middle that you need for the high resource nodes, for the villages and cities, and then obviously for your tower build foundation so you can get your resource nodes that way as well. Now, once you've decided on what region you're going for, once you've found a good region, okay, you're going to move in, you're going to start, thinking about this, and this is why I said you have to have a plan for everything. One of the biggest things that we have in our alliance is that, yes, I technically lead, and yes, I have a leadership team, which you need to be transparent in selecting, right? Everyone needs to have the access to that leadership team, right? It can't just be your friends. It can't just be people, right? People that you're just buddy with. There has to be a capability for any player, in my opinion, to have access to that if they perform well enough. That R4 team should really be a team of people that you trust to put yourselves in the best situation for what the prospect of your alliance is. Now, again, granted, I'm running a competitive alliance. If I was running casual alliance, it's a whole lot different. I can put my friends in those positions because it doesn't really matter. But if we're doing this for competitive, you want to get the right people in those positions, because not only do R4s get their own special buffs, right? We can show you that the R4s themselves get their own special buffs, right? So we've got Smoke here, for example, who gets an extra infantry squad defense, right? We've got Fetty, who gets extra rider. We've got, where's the other ones here? Oh, this one was on Popo, but Popo's not here anymore. Not anymore. He was just here a little bit early. So we've got Smoke there. We've got D3, who can also get, another one. You can give him the infantry squad defense. So there's other bonus buffs that these players can get. So having the right people in those positions to benefit also from those buffs is something you want to kind of keep in mind. Okay. So this is why I personally always have an open door policy when it comes to anything. If there's any problems in the alliance, if there's any ideas on the alliance, if there's any progress in the alliance, I want people to know that not only does their voice matter, their vote matters, all that kind of stuff. Yes, I run it very diplomatically. You can absolutely run it very, very authoritarian if you want. But I'll be honest with you, some of the best alliances that I've dealt with, worked with, played with are much less rigid in that structure and much more fluid in regards to who's leading, who's in what position, and where they are. And that, of course, comes with time and recruiting the right people, right? But this is one reason why people come to trust not only me, but what we do in GROP, because, like I said, everything we do on a vote. Most of the rule changes, yes, I'm the one that makes the call on the rule changes, but I'm also the one that holds accountability when those rule changes go bad. If we lose, for example, I'm the one that takes the brunt of that. Yes, we all technically lose, but I'm the one that's kicking my own ass for the bad decisions that I've ever made. And those, that's part of the ADHD part of it, okay? But again, you want to have that transparency as a leader so that people can understand that not only do you care that the alliance does well, but you care that they do well as well. Right? We want everyone to understand that I care about my alliance, not just for my own selfish reasons, but for the benefit of them getting better too. When my players hit level 60 on their heroes, or if they get level 25, or they get a big milestone, we celebrate as a team, because that brings everyone together, lets everyone know that we care about their internal progress, right? Their personal progress as much as we do about the alliance. Okay. Let's see. We've gone over alliance resource nodes and farming in zone. Again, that's very important. You're also getting a 30% bonus speed. One thing we didn't mention was silver. Now, silver is a resource that you need in order to build certain things, in order for an individual person to purchase from the alliance store. Okay, so the alliance store is here. Now, let me explain how the alliance store works, because everybody asks me these questions. Because they come in here. They come down here and they say, I have 70 million gold. Why can't I buy anything? This is what the R4 team uses to stock the store, okay? This gold is used to stock the store. Alliance gold is used to stock the store. It's used to build towers. It's used to build forts. It's used to build all these types of things for Alliance, do research and tech and all this kind of stuff, okay? But this is a resource for the R4 team and leadership team to fill the store. Then you as a player come over here and you use silver to buy from the store. So I have 1.2 million silver. I can use that to buy some 4-hour speed ups if I wanted, some territory relocators if I wanted, some normal speed ups, search maps if I wanted. All these types of things that are available within the Alliance store, but you need the silver. Now, there used to be a trick where you could send one troop to a build, and it would build 20,000. You could save up 20,000 silver. You could recall that squad and immediately resend it out and farm another 20,000 silver. They've limited that so you can do that, but you can only gather 20,000 silver every single day, which slows down the gathering process, but then really kind of focuses on when you're going to make those builds so that everybody's going to benefit from them and get as much of that silver as they can, because they want to get those extra resources, speed ups, resources, relocators, you name it. They're all available in that Alliance store, but that all comes from farming silver. And you have to do that by building stuff, okay? So you get a point every second that you're in a build. You get 1 silver for every second that you're in a build. So if you're in a build on a tower, for example, you can be on that build for a couple of hours. You can be on that for a couple of minutes, depending on how many troops are in there. If everybody only sends one troop, it'll take a long time to build, which allows everybody to generate the 20,000 cement that they can, 20,000 silver they can in the day. All that kind of stuff comes into play early in the game as you're building up. It's not necessarily as important now because, like I said, we're not really building. Silver's not necessarily as important. Yes, I could take down a tower and rebuild a tower, but then I'm spending extra resources. It's a whole other advanced game, and this is exactly for beginners, so let's keep that in mind. Now, we've gone through transparency and alliance nodes, things like that. We've gone through an open door policy. My last kind of... well, sorry, not my last. I got a couple more we want to talk about. We want to talk about your forts, the forts and the importance of them. If you'll notice, as a leader, you have the option to build forts. You're the only one, I believe, that can actually dismantle things. So you have some extra leadership choices that your other R4s don't. And one of those is the control of the forts here, right? Alliance, the main alliance fort, Fort 1 and Fort 2. Now, these forts don't have to be connected to your territory. They can be dropped anywhere to extend your territory, and then towers can be built off of that, right? So this territory right here that we built on this one here doesn't have to be connected anywhere. I can actually put this tower anywhere and build it, this fortress anywhere and build it, and then we can build towers off of that fortress, okay? Now, why this is important is because if you're just starting out, one of the biggest key tricks is called fort dropping, where what you're going to do is you're going to build your second fort as fast as you can, right? Because your second fort costs other resources. Your main fort only costs gold, okay? So it only costs gold to build your main fort, but it does cost other resources to build your second and third fort. So what you'll do is you'll work as fast as you can to build your second fort, and then you can dismantle your main alliance fort. This one right here, you can dismantle this one. And when the level 2s and level 3s open up on the new, after the bridges open, right? Again, understanding the map. Once your bridges open up and your gateways open up and your checkpoints open up, you can fort drop your fort, fast build the fort in a couple of hours, capture the village, dismantle the fort, build it on another one, takes a couple of hours, right? Capture the village, go to the next one. You see what I'm saying? So you can capture 2 or 3 or 4 before the enemy can build towers, because the towers still take 15, 20 minutes each, right? And sometimes they're not going to have the resources to get all the way to those towers, and they're not going to have resources to get to both. So you can take those rewards by fort dropping your main alliance fort, okay? So keep that in mind. It's a nice little trick, okay? Next, we're going to say, like we talked about, I want to make sure if you're in that right region, you're going to find a region that you're going to be at least within the top 3 alliance mites so that you have some say at the table. But what this also means is that you have to early create a leadership chat, like find the other leaders of the other strong alliances that are pushing in those regions, start an alliance chat, start a chat group with those leaders so that you can diplomatically and democratically understand where everyone's going, right? So you can, so it doesn't end up an all-scale war, because war in the regions is the most expensive form of war, and you're trying to stop that at all costs, okay? You don't want to go to war outside of the war events, so keep that in mind. So create that leaders chat early and stay engaged, right? Be in that leaders chat. Talk to the other leaders. Get involved so that they have an idea what they're dealing with as well, and so that you guys can understand, not only what sides of the map you're going to be playing on, what rewards you're going to be going for, who's going to get and control what level 4s and the level 5. All this kind of stuff plays a part, but you have to create that chat and create it early, okay? Now, lastly, we're going to talk about one last thing. And like I mentioned, this is having a plan for everything. If you're going to be a good leader, one of the things that you have to do is you literally have to have a plan for everything. It doesn't mean you have to enact that plan, but you need to have an idea just in case. For example, they brought out the gold vault. This was a fairly new thing a while ago. It's not now. It's fairly recognized now. But I remember when it first came out, we had no idea it was going to drop and no idea how to deal with it. So we had to, as soon as it was dropped, go through basically the negotiations within our alliance to kind of break down how we wanted to manage our gold, how we wanted to distribute it, all that kind of stuff, because this is a new metric. Now, if we didn't have a plan on that, or if we didn't have the transparency that we had, it would be a whole lot more of a problem than what it was, because we just brought it to the vote. We just brought out the pros and cons, we provided the options, and the team chose how they wanted to move forward. And that's how we've been moving ever since, right? The problem is, especially when we're talking about the gold mall or the gold vault, that's real money effectively for the game. It's really helpful for players that can use it. It's really helpful for free-to-play players, low-spending players, and ones that are actively participating in your alliance. Now, this is one of those things where I would say for the gold vault, take some time. Whether you want to reward people for spending and rebating them for spending, or whether you want to do like GROP does and save your stuff and give it out once a month to the performers of the events during the month, right? Like we have a different perspective of it. It's entirely up to you, but you need to understand that it has real in-game metrics, and people will get weird about it because it's real money. So you need to be like, for us, for example, I'm super transparent. I never hide any of the what are they called? Distributions. I never hide any of that kind of stuff. It's always open. You can always come see it on stream, right? I've shown it around a lot of times. I don't hide it. I'm very apparent with it because at the end of the day, the moment you start hiding real money is the moment you start to have issues with real people. And I didn't want that. So we keep everything transparent. Okay. So having a plan for your gold mall or your gold vault, super important. Having a plan for where you're putting towers down. Like I said, you're not just putting towers willy-nilly. You're building towers. Like I could build a tower from this place, for example, all the way down, just straight down to over here. I could have done that and used a lot less towers, right? But if you'll notice, almost every tower, there's 2 nodes here. There's a node here. There's a node here. There's a couple of nodes right down over here, right? So we got some of the nodes over here, right? There's other nodes here we could have gone. We maybe could have gone there if we wanted to spend an extra tower. But you want to kind of keep that in mind so that you're not being wasteful with your towers. You want to be as efficient as you can to pick up as many of those nodes as you can. You get something like this. I wouldn't say this is efficient by any stretch. They're kind of just struggling for where they are. Obviously, we have nothing down over here. So it becomes a kind of a consistent struggle with where you're going to find your towers, and you need to determine that early and plan for it. Same with your technology. As an alliance leader and as a part of the leadership team, you have a control on your technology. Whether you're going to focus on your development, right, so that you can develop your alliances faster, whether you're going to focus on developing out your territory so that you get better benefits from within your territory, whether you're just going to take out and benefit your warfare so you can just do more damage and better in fights, or whether you're going to increase your skills so you have more of an active interactive aspect on your alliance's abilities, is entirely your determination. I've found it's best to max out your warfare as fast as you can because this is uniform buffs, and universal buffs are going to be better. For the most part, they're universal buffs, right? Squad defense, squad HP, squad attack, right? Yes, you get some that's specific to territory, but a lot of this is just specific to all the time, right? As long as you're in the alliance, you're getting these buffs. Territory buffs are going to be obviously the other side of things. You get more attack while battling on alliance territory. So if you're fighting on your alliance territory, you get some extra buffs that go with you. If you're this one here is basically just like the research speed, construction speed for your alliance, zombie damage, all that kind of stuff for your alliance. So ways for your alliance to develop faster, and you're the one that gets to decide that. But again, you have to have a plan for how you want to do with your research, because if you don't, your leadership team will be recommending each and everything all the time, and you'll never have a focused path, and you'll be really setting yourself behind. So always make sure you have a plan, even for your expansion of technology. And again, even for your expansion of your territory in your region with your other 2, 3, 4 alliances, right? Alliance allies, pardon me. Because those guys are also doing their own thing. So that's why you need to stay engaged. Make sure you know where they're building so you're not building into the same territory, right? All this kind of stuff really, really matters in the long stream of being a good leader, okay? And then lastly, you got to plan for things even if you don't know what you're planning for, because this game changes so darn fast. All I can do is literally go a month at a time, and I switch my calendar every single month in anticipation for what they're doing next. But they do not stay consistent with a lot of things outside of what is currently a 4-week schedule. Okay, this means that you're always kind of going to keep yourself engaged. Stay engaged on the Discord, stay engaged in my lives so you have an idea what's happening there. Stay engaged in the community where they're hanging out. There's a lot of places. When Z goes live, hang out there. When I go live, hang out with me. When the other content creators create videos, make sure that you're watching them. Staying engaged in the community will help you as a leader stay engaged on how the game is progressing so you know what to do when things change. And I promise you, they're going to change. Guess what? We have a new update coming out tonight. I don't know what it's all going to change entirely, but they say bug fixes, and that's a bunch of stuff normally, so we'll see what happens. But with that being said, this is going to wrap it up for this kind of leadership video. If you have any other tips, tricks, or anything like that, if you're a fellow leader and you have some other tips that maybe I missed or wasn't thinking about, throw them down in the comment section. Let the other guys and the other people learn from you what they can do better in their own alliances to make a successful place as well to play. Because that's really what it's all about, folks. We're here for one reason and one reason only, to escape reality and have a good time in the process, right? So let's get out there. Let's do that. I want you to, again, don't forget, if you haven't already checked out my birthday video, get your ID number and your guess for which Wednesday this year you think my birthday is. You can get your share of 20,000 in-game gold. If you haven't already liked this channel or liked the video, please go ahead and do that. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, fill out the notification bell, get those done. And lastly, share this with your friends. Share this with your alliance leader. Give them some heads up. And as always, if you need to reach out, you know where to get me. Region 420, right in the middle, Alliance GROP. My inbox is always open. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, or anything like that, feel free to reach out to me. I am one of those people that will absolutely respond to every single one that I can, as long as I hit enter. Sometimes I'll type up a response and forget to hit enter or not hit enter, and it'll just sit there. And that comes back a week later and makes me feel real bad about myself. But again, that's just the ADHD talking. So it is what it is. But again, reach out. Questions, concerns, or anything like that. That's what I'm here for. But that all being said, that being completed, I want to say one last thank you all. I'm going to Singapore. It's crazy. I don't even know what to say anymore. Y'all made it happen. They reached out to me. I'm now in a special Discord. I'm waiting my liaison, and we'll be dealing with it step by step. And I will be bringing you all updates on it as well, because I want you guys included on this. This is just as much yours as it is mine. Yes, I'm going, but I'm going because of you. It wasn't me that voted almost 3,500 times. It was you guys. So let's enjoy this win together, folks. And let's end this video the way that we always do. Love, peace, chicken grease, and until next time,
stay lifted!
Yeah! Check it! 1, 2, mic check, yeah! Check it, 1, 2, mic check. Feeling alright, everything's right tonight. Come on, sing with me now. Sunrise peeking through my window pane. Another day dawning, washing away the rain. Yeah. Got that good vibration flowing in my soul. Yeah. No time for bad mind, losing all control. Yeah. I've been rising up from the shadows down below. Let the rhythm take me, watch my spirit grow. Oh, stay lifted, keep your head up high. So gifted, reaching for the sky. Every moment cherish, every single beat. Stay lifted, can't be beat, no defeat. Yeah. Walking down the street with a smile upon my face, sharing good energy, spreading love and grace. See the people grooving to the rhythm, sweet embrace. Forget your worries, find your happy place. From the mountains high to the oceans wide and deep, these good vibes I'm sending, promises I keep. Oh, stay lifted, keep your head up high. Feeling so gifted, reaching for the sky. Every moment cherish, every single beat. Stay lifted, can't be beat, no defeat. When the troubles come like Find your inner sunshine, fill your heart with light. Let the music